90% of SaaS companies fail within the first 5 years. If you're watching this video because you're starting a SaaS, 9 out of 10 of you guys are gonna fail. Hopefully, if you watch this video, I'm gonna slingshot you a year or two into the future here. When I started my SaaS company, I would have loved to listen to someone who's been down in the trenches for the past year and a half, trying to make this thing come to life. One of the most difficult things about a SaaS is coming up with an idea. Do you have the money to continue funding this thing? I highly recommend you think twice or thrice or 10 times, to be honest. It is not for people who are not obsessed with success. I'm literally gonna be dropping new videos every single day. If you just take a couple hours or an hour every day and you take these actionable steps that I'm giving you, you'll immediately start seeing changes. What's going on, guys? Shah here, back day 2 of my 365 videos every single day. So today we're gonna be talking about why building a SaaS company is not for the lighthearted and why it might be the worst idea you could possibly come up with to starting when it comes to starting a business. So I've got a few notes here and I'm gonna talk to you guys about pretty much what my experience has been with my own SaaS company. I have a SaaS in the automotive space, specifically in the customer management side of things, and specifically for body shops. So I'm gonna be talking to you guys about what my journey has been like in the SaaS space, and also I'm gonna be telling you about a couple of videos that I just recently watched that completely shifted my mindset about what I should be focusing on when it comes to my SaaS companies. Just so you understand and know and why you should listen to me is because I am down in the trenches right now. So I'm doing Calendly calls on a daily basis, demos with customers and talking to them and getting feedback and all kinds of things. And I started my SaaS company about a year and a half ago. We started development and it's just been a huge money pit, like a massive money pit. So today I want to talk to you guys about how I'm even able to continue sustaining that and why I'm doing it, right? If I'm telling you guys it's the worst idea in the world, then I want you guys to also understand why I'm doing it. Also, just to give you a little bit of background on me and why you should even listen to what I have to say, I've built 4 companies over the past 10 years, and we did about $9.5 million in collective revenue last year, and I'm hoping for about a 15 to 20% uptrend this coming year. You know, I'm not a business mogul or anything, but hopefully that's enough for you to sit and listen to this video. Another thing I want to mention, if you don't have the next few minutes to listen to what I have to say, honestly, you're probably not cut out to make a SaaS company. Because if I was sitting in your seat a year and a half ago, when I started my SaaS company, I would have loved to listen to someone who's been down in the trenches for the past year and a half, trying to make this thing come to life and listen to what he or she has to say about what they're dealing with. So also, if you like the advice that I give, if you guys like actionable steps and the content that I'm making, obviously I'm gonna be posting every single day, please comment down below anything that you specifically wanna hear about because I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts. So I'm gonna get right into it. Okay, first things first, guys. One of the most difficult things about a SaaS is coming up with an idea. Oh, like, let me just make a software because I like using this type of software, so I should just make one, right? That's not how this works. A lot of founders like creating softwares that they find fun or softwares that they feel like they use or their friends would use. It doesn't work that way, right? 90% of SaaS companies fail within the first 5 years. Guys, that is an insane statistic. We're talking about 9 out of 10 people that are watching this video right now are gonna fail at their SaaS company. If you're watching this video because you're starting a SaaS, 9 out of 10 of you guys are gonna fail. That's probably kind of a pessimistic thing to say, but it's also reality. But hopefully if you watch this video, I'm gonna slingshot you a year or two into the future here and hopefully give you some insight as to what you can do to avoid failing, and maybe hopefully only 5 out of 10 of you guys fail, right? I mean, that'd be a pretty good statistic, honestly. That'd be good results. So number one, let's talk about some reasons why they fail. Number one, do you even have product market fit? Do you know what product market fit is? Product market fit is essentially finding a problem and finding a market that actually needs that problem, right? Product market fit is ensuring that if you're opening a burger joint in a city, that there are enough people that want or need burgers that are actually gonna show up to buy burgers from your restaurant, right? So that's the idea when it comes to product market fit. Are you actually building a product that's going to create solutions in a specific market, right? And so my best advice that I can give you for that is find a niche, right? Find a niche within a niche if you can, because when you find a niche market, what happens is it becomes a lot easier to find where those people are, right? For example, my software is in the auto body collision industry. So what I do is I go on Facebook and I find groups that align with that, right? And there's plenty of them, right? There's literally groups that have 40,000 members, 30,000 members, 20,000 members. I join them, I interact with these people, I talk with these people. Obviously, I'm in the industry, right? So I'm able to talk the talk and talk shop with these guys. So do you have product market fit? That's number one. You need to figure that out before you start. Number two, these are all things you need to figure out before you start. Number two, do you have a marketing plan? That is huge. Do you have a customer acquisition plan? Do you know where you're going to get your customers? And I don't want you to take what I just said, the Facebook group thing, and run with it, okay? Yes, there probably is a Facebook group for whatever market you're trying to tackle, or your demographic that you're going after, but don't just take that and run with it, okay? Because I'm gonna tell you right now, coming from being in these groups, I'm in probably 6 or 7 of these groups, of which each of them have 20 to 30,000 members. But I'm gonna tell you right now, it's not like going fishing in a pond with a million fish. It's not. I'm gonna talk a little bit about my own experience of how I had to pivot actually recently. And when I say recently, I'm literally talking about just today. I had to have a very difficult conversation with the team on pretty much saying, hey guys, stop everything you're doing. We're switching the direction of what we're taking this company in, right? And it's not an easy conversation to have, but I'm gonna be telling you about that in a little bit. So don't just run with a small plan of, yeah, I have a Facebook group, or I have a forum that I know about, or on Twitter, there's I don't know, like I have a following of 7,000 people that I think are gonna buy my product. That's not a plan, okay? That's just, that's a hunch. You're going off a hunch. You do not wanna go off a hunch if you're building a SaaS product, which generally speaking costs a lot of money and takes a lot of time. And then last and most importantly by far, because you can have all of those things that I just said, do you have the cash flow, right? I think that the days of, finding a bunch of investors for your SaaS idea before you even start building it, I think those days are gone. I think that software development, by the way, I'm not a software developer. I'm just a business owner. I'm an entrepreneur who starts businesses. I hired software developers. They're not that difficult to find, right? And if you guys are interested, I'll make a video on kind of how I found that as well. So going back to the cash flow thing, do you have the money to continue funding this thing? Do you have the money to continue funding this thing? If you are going to take the next 6 months, the next year, the next 18 months, year and a half, 2 years, whatever it is, of your time to go build a software off the ground, please make sure that you can sustain that, because I don't want any of you guys to go take a year of your life and dedicate it into building the solution, and then at the end of it just run out of the money, right? And I promise you it will take a year and a half. I promise you it will take a year. I promise you it'll take 2 years, 3 years sometimes, depending on what you're trying to build in order to build it, right? So those are things that you have to think about before you even start. Now, point number 2, and I know that all of you guys have heard this term, this acronym, MVP, right? Figure out what your MVP is. And I'm gonna get to my whole situation that I went through today. And a lot of it was because honestly, I made a rookie mistake and I pushed way past my MVP. But I'm also going to tell you guys a few things as to how I probably would not have been able to decipher that for my market, the MVP that I came up with today, I probably would not be able to, a year and a half ago when I first started building this, I probably would not have been able to come up with the idea that is the MVP that I needed to build. I know that sounded really confusing. Just bear with me and I'll get to the point of this, okay? After you have an idea and you've built an MVP, you need to listen and you need to pivot and you need to listen and you need to pivot and you need to listen. What does that mean? Find a small group of people that are interested in your product, because if you can't find a small group of people that are interested in your product, you probably have a terrible product, or you just don't have market fit, right? So find that group, those people that are interested in your product from an early stage, that are going to be using your product, and get them to test it, get them to try it, get them to pretty much break it, right? And get every ounce of feedback that you possibly can from them, and then adjust and pivot, right? Pivoting means taking what you've already built and adjusting direction in this way, and tweaking and adjusting things until finally you end up with a product that obviously is attractive to the grand scale of your product or market. So I'm gonna now talk about those couple of videos that I mentioned earlier So I went down a rabbit hole this weekend, just looking through videos of other SaaS founders that have gotten great success. And I took some notes. These were the key takeaways that I had. I'm gonna add the videos down in the description below so you guys can watch those videos as well. And they're great videos. I highly recommend you finish this one because I'm gonna give you a quick little gist of what I watched in those videos and what my key takeaways were. And then you should definitely go watch those videos after. But number one of the main things that this guy had a $650 million exit, right? He said, fix an actual problem. What does that mean? Don't fix the problem that you have. Don't fix the problem that you think other people have. Ask people, what is the problem that you have? And don't fix more than that, okay? Because you don't have the money, you don't have the time, you don't have the energy, you don't have the team to fix more than just that problem, right? Because it's really easy to start by fixing just one problem and say, oh, we could also fix that, and we could also fix this. And chances are you're not doing enough research to see if those other things that you're adding on to the first initial problem that you found out about, chances are that those solutions aren't even actually needed. So fix an actual problem, fix those problems to 100%. Do not kind of fix those problems. Actually pay attention to, am I fixing the problem from 0 to 100? If you're not, go back to the drawing board. Next, guys, I cannot emphasize this enough. Where attention goes, money flows. Right now in the tech industry, all of the attention is on one thing. And you probably already guessed it, AI, right? Everyone wants AI. Every company that's out there, every business wants the newest AI technology, the newest pretty much shortcut that they can use in their business, right? So figure out how you're going to incorporate AI. And not only how you're going to incorporate AI, but how are you going to pretty much plug it into pretty much every asset of the MVP that you're creating, right? So those were the 3 key takeaways that I had from that video. So fix an actual problem, fix it to 100%. And use AI. So if you're going into an industry that doesn't really have any AI solutions yet, I highly recommend really pushing the whole AI thing. And so you need to be able to go in there and say, hey guys, my software helps keep your customers up to date. You're solving a problem. Hey guys, my software helps you answer every single phone call without fail. That is solving a problem, right? So that is the idea. You need to be able to say those words, right? There needs to be, my software takes away the need to send emails to customers. That is literally solving a big problem in most companies, right? So that's how you should make sure that you're actually fixing a problem. Now, next video. This was huge, okay? People like using softwares that are cool and fun for like a week, okay? And they'll get over it and then they'll stop using it. However, the one type of software that people will continue to use and the one type of SaaS company that will always continue to generate income and have the least amount of churn, which is, customers leaving, are companies that save other companies time and money, okay? SaaS companies that save people time and money or save other companies time and money will always be more successful and have a higher income than companies that just make software that's fun or cool or just an entertainment-based software. So in this second video that I watched, this guy, this was probably the best video that I watched. And I watched like 7. I'm only telling you guys about 2. But in this video, he discusses the strategy that he figured out, right? He had a software that did a couple really cool things and he was having a tough time gaining clients. Don't quote me on this, but I think he said he got like 200 customers in like 6 months or something like crazy, which is for the amount that he's charging was pretty much no income, right? And then he found out that he added another AI feature. So all of his software was like an video editing software that would help you add like captions and things like that, I believe, right? And he added another AI feature that helped you cut the video, AKA it saved influencers that were making long form videos and creators that were making long form videos time, right? So he was huge on feedback. He would literally pay his users to come and sit with him, and he'd pay them $20, $30 an hour just to give him feedback on how they felt about the software. So he then realized that this new feature that he made, people would say, hey, you know what, the other feature is whatever, this other feature is whatever. And then all of a sudden when he talks about that feature that helps his customers save time, all of a sudden, and that feature, what it did, took a long form video and it just cut a bunch of the parts of the clips that weren't necessarily important, but using AI. I think he probably was creating like he probably used like some sort of speech to text AI model that pretty much probably wrote a transcript and then took out the things that it deemed were not important, right? And then just cut those parts out. And what happened was he realized that people loved that part of the software, And so what he did was he pretty much separated it from all the other things that he was selling in that software and started selling it on its own, right? So he created a whole new product, and with that one singular feature, started selling it completely on its own and realized that, holy crap, people actually love this. And I think, and again, don't quote me, I'm not even gonna say a number, honestly, you guys can watch the video, but he ended up booming, absolutely booming. And obviously he did other things too, right? He had product market fit, he had a marketing plan. So he had all these things. And all of a sudden, he saw his growth curve go like this. Why? Because he found the feature that saved people time and money. And number two, he then sold it completely on its own. So then that way, when he was doing demos on the product, he wasn't distracting the customer from the solution that they wanted, right? Think about it like this. If somebody comes to you, you own a business, somebody comes to you and says, hey, I have a software that does this. And you go, oh, wow, that's amazing. And then they go, oh, and it also does this. And you're like, oh, okay, that's cool. And then they're like, oh, and also guess what? It also does that. And they're like, okay, I mean, yeah, I don't think I'll be using that. And it also does this. And you're like, okay, okay, all right. Well, I don't need that either, but sure, okay, your software does 17 things. I only need like one or two of them. How much does your software cost? Doesn't matter what number you give them. You can say $50, you can say $100 a month, you can say whatever you want to say, but that person at that point is already convinced in their head that they don't want to buy your software, because how they see it is, if I'm paying $100 for the software that has 16 features and I only need 2 of them, I'm only using 1/8 of the software and 7/8 of that is pretty much going to waste, right? And they forget that they might even generate, $1,000 or $5,000 in revenue or benefit or profit from the software that you created just by using those 2 features. But because those 2 features also come along with those other 15 features, they're just like, yeah, no, I don't need this. So the question becomes, Shah, how do you do it? How have you done it, and how will you continue to do it, right? So the way I think about it for myself is that I built a launchpad, okay? So I started business 10 years ago. I built this automotive performance shop, built it up to a point where we're by far the biggest performance shop here in our county, and it's bringing in a good amount of cash flow, right? So I created a few cash cows. And so obviously 6 years after that, I opened a collision center. By the way, we're creating collision software, right? And we own a collision shop. So we have the expertise, we have the knowledge on how to create it. So I highly recommend, by the way, if you're already in a business and you want to create a SaaS company, or you've been in a business, maybe you were an employee for many, many years and you've seen the problems that these companies gone through, I highly recommend focusing on creating a SaaS solution that has to do with something that you've already been through. But I also want to emphasize to not assume that the problems that your company has gone through are the problems that every other company is going through. So I still want to put a lot of emphasis, and I implore you to go out and actually do research on the market and talk to people that own these businesses that you want to create a solution in before you just go and create the SaaS business. But as I was saying, we created a few companies over the past 10 years which cash flow enough to be able to provide me an income that keeps me comfortable, while also being able to invest now in this future that I'm trying to create for myself in creating the SaaS business. So obviously when it comes to my SaaS company, I know that one way or another, as long as I can continue to fund it, I will figure out a way to make sure it's successful and that's profitable, right? However, I don't know how long that's gonna take me. So this brings me back to the point that I was mentioning earlier. Make sure you have the cash, right? Make sure that you have the money to be able to sustain development of the product, and make sure that you're able to fund your team, because chances are most people that are watching this, some people that are watching this might be solo founders, people that have knowledge on software development and software engineering, and you might be building the product on your own. But one thing that I will mention, if you are a solo founder, is do not do it on your own. Find a partner, find somebody that is maybe in my seat, right? I specialize in sales, I specialize in marketing, I specialize in finding product market fit, I specialize in networking and finding the right individuals that will help me move my software. And by the way, I didn't get a chance to talk about this in this video, but I did actually go out of my way and create an insane customer acquisition plan for my own company, which is what led us to being able to, within the first month, I think actually technically within the first 2 weeks, our beta testing team, which is actually technically paying us, I was able to create, $64,000 in ARR just over the first week or two of us releasing the beta version of our software. So find someone that's in my seat, at a minimum, at least one person that will be focused fully on the product market fit, that will be focused fully on the marketing plan, the customer acquisition plan, and collecting feedback from the customers, and then coming up with a plan on how you should pivot the software, right? In my software, I started off with a software where I would go, yes, we solve the problem of running your body shop, which isn't a problem. But today I decided that I had to find the most minimal viable product, a product in which you walk into these shops and say, I solve the problem of keeping your customers up to date throughout the process of the vehicle repair being done at your shop. And that is exactly what I've done. Today I had a very difficult conversation, like I said earlier, with my team, in which I pretty much had to tell them, hey guys, we have about 55 features on our requirements document, which, by the way, if you guys want some information as to how I made my requirements, I'd be happy to make a video on that as well. But I have about 55 features on my requirements document. And by the way, we are, and I'd say about 85 to 90% through all of those features. And today I told them we're pretty much pivot our software, like take our software and make adjustments, and only use about 15 of them. And you can probably imagine how a team reacted to that about a year and a half into building this. Now, I'm being a little bit dramatic. I didn't say it exactly in that way. I obviously, eased into it, and I also explained myself before I just dropped a bomb on them. The way that I came to this conclusion was when I watched these videos and when I went over those few points that I discussed earlier from those videos, the key takeaways, I asked myself a question. When I'm in these demos, because I'm doing, like I said, doing demos every single day, what are my customers wowed by? What do they hear from my mouth and then go, oh my God, wow, that's amazing? What do they see in my screen share and then go, oh my goodness, that's amazing? And I could only really put my finger on one key thing that I'm doing, right? And I was like, okay, well, if this is what these people want, why am I building a software that does that and then another 45 other things? It doesn't make sense. And I'm pretty much setting myself up for failure when I tell them, hey, my software does this. Oh, and it also does this, and it also does this. And obviously I wouldn't literally go down a list like that, right? I would try to keep my my description and my demo to a minimal. But the problem is they see so many things on the screen that they don't really need, or that they don't really see themselves implementing in their business, where they go, yeah, I don't really know why I would need this software, right? Even though that first feature or second feature that I would obviously start off with because I knew they loved it were things that they probably would have bought if I just stopped it right there, right? Now, does this mean I can charge the same dollar amount per month that I had in my head when I first started for those 45 to 50 different features that I was gonna implement? Probably not, right? It probably doesn't make sense to do that. But does it increase my pot? Does it increase my market of shop owners that would be interested in a product that solves just one specific problem? Probably, right? Probably. So that is what I had to go through. And about a year and a half into this project, I came to a conclusion that I probably could have built this in about 3 months. But if I didn't go through that year and a half, I wouldn't be able to tell you what that little tiny solution is that's necessary in my current market that I'm targeting. Because the truth is, I kind of shotgunned these features, and only then was and I thought they were all equally as important, right? But only then was I able to say, hey, you know what? The people aren't interested in these things. And now what I have to do is I have to adjust. And I had that difficult conversation with my team. And and for all these reasons, if you're looking to get into SaaS, I highly recommend you think twice or thrice or 10 times, to be honest, or 100 times, because it is not for the faint of heart. It is not for people who give up easily. It is not for people who are not obsessed with success. Because if you are not obsessed with success, I'm telling you right now, starting a SaaS company will grind you down and grind you down further. And especially if you're not building it on your own or with a team that isn't expecting to be paid, it will literally empty your entire wallet. So I highly recommend you do whatever it takes to prepare. And if you watch this video through, I would probably watch it again. If you didn't take notes, watch it again and take notes and actually take the advice. Like, remember, it's all about execution. You can watch my videos that I'm gonna make every single day, because I'm literally gonna be dropping new videos every single day. And you can listen to my advice and nothing will change. But if you take the advice, if you just take a couple hours or an hour every day and you take these actionable steps that I'm giving you, you'll immediately start seeing changes in the SaaS company that you already have started, or in the SaaS company that you're looking to start, your level of confidence will start going much, much, much higher. So I hope this video has given you some guidance, and if it has, please help me out. Share the video. I'm gonna be making videos like this every single day, and I hope that I've helped you a little bit. And if I have, please also leave a comment down below if you're starting a SaaS company. And also, I'll always feel free to reach out to me through email. And I'll put my email like in like the bio or something. You guys can email me, and I'd love to talk to you guys. So thank you so much for watching. This one was a lot longer than I expected, but hopefully I got you guys some good information, some things that you can take away from the video that will help guide you in the future. And I'll continue to make videos like this. Please leave comments down below that will help me kind of guide my future videos in the direction that you guys would like to see. So thank you again, guys. That was day 2. See you guys tomorrow.